And here comes Milo, big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count out the 37.
Oh!
Burned!
Cabot, where did he come from? Here comes Zwack.
A punch for the 33.
It's a drag race.
The Magic Man wins it at Auto Club.
Hello and welcome to the BMW Car Club of America National Capital Chapter Sim Racing League, live tonight for race number 5 from the Hungaroring circuit. 2.72 miles, 14 turns, and tonight's format 2 20-minute sprint races to see who takes the most points tonight and continues to fight for the championship halfway through the season. A couple of the drivers, big names in the league here: Darren Treacle, Steve Ficacci, currently quickest in qualifying, as they are just about a minute and a half from seeing who is going to sit on the pole position. Michael Pavolano, Brian Kennedy, Kellen Crocker making up the top 5 right now. This is a very interesting track. We've seen a lot of good racing from this speedway, this circuit, in the last couple of seasons here. If I recall, towards the end of last season, we had an event here, and it came down to drivers, a 2 or 3-way battle, I believe, in that final corner there, that long sweeping right-hander that you just saw Darren Treacle make his way through. We'll ride on board with him here during the qualifying session. We do want to thank you for joining us on V-Speed tonight. This series brought to you by SEO Mike. Use code !SEO Mike in chat to learn more about them. As we pull up the qualifying times, 45 seconds left in the session. We also do have the track map ready to go for all of you as well. Darren Treacle making his way around the racetrack. Downshifting a couple times there through the left-hander. Back to the right. Hard on the brakes. Long sweeping corners at this racetrack. Not a lot of banking either. You do see a little elevation changes. He'll go downhill slightly into the chicane. Only needs about a half-tenth to take the pole time away from Steve Ficacci, who's now leapfrogged him. And he is going to run out of time in the session, potentially. Yeah, there it is. It will expire. So Steve Ficacci going to be the pole winner here tonight. That is a lot of points for him. We will be doing a different interview format this evening as well, as we go to our starting grid in tonight's event. Again, we do want to thank you for joining us here on V-Speed for the BMW Car Club of America National Capital Chapter Sim Racing League from the Hungaroring. Starting on the pole in tonight's event, it's going to be Steve Ficacci, but he will have to go to the back because of that. Darren Treacle, second quickest. Third quickest, Michael Pavolano. Brian Kennedy, 4th. Kellen Crocker, 5th. Clint Fletcher, 6th. Chase Outcult going to start in the 7th position. Stefan Vapa rolling off from the 8th spot. Dean Tulien going to start in 9th. Adam Pohl rolling off from the 10th spot. Colin Kortnick, he'll roll off 11th. Peter Lanik, 12th. 13th is Scott Kim. 14th, Justin Craig. Jesse Brannon going to start 15th. 16th is Yakov Bielik. 17th, Robert Benson. 18th, Carlos Bonds. And 19th, Matthew Gazenda. That is in the qualifying session. You can see drivers lining up a little bit differently. It'll be Peter Lanik, actually, going to be starting on the front row here alongside Colin Kortnick. Adam Pohl, Dean Tulien, and Stefan Vapa make up the top 5 according to what we're seeing here on our starting grid. And the pace car should be getting going here any moment now. There it goes, the Porsche machine. Going to lead the field off and away tonight. The weather this evening from the Hungaroring Looks to be a pretty nice day here. 66-degree air temp, actually on the cool side. 75-degree track temp, so gonna be plenty of grip in these GT3 machines. We'll see all kinds of race cars out there. We got a lot of BMWs, a couple of Lamborghinis, a Ferrari, a couple Ferraris, and a Ford GT as well. Here we go through the final corner, ready to take the green flag. And there it is, off and away. Peter Lanik will get us going here. Colin Kortnick alongside him. And then Adam Pohl, Dean Tooling. Look at, that is, I believe, Adam Pohl right there in the Ferrari machine. Trying to make a move, and we are 3-4 wide. Everybody gets through for the moment. There's contact, though. The 00, Steve Ficacci, goes around. He's going to get pounded by Scott Kim. No, that was Jakub Bielik, I believe, who got into him. And they are back off and rolling, but big damage potentially for those drivers. As let's go take a look here. So Jakub Bielik, yeah, just nowhere for him to go. Ficacci went around. Who did he get in contact with? Right there in the middle, the 14 car alongside the 9 of Callan Crocker, and the 00 of Ficacci make contact, and then Bielik piles into it. They are back off and away here. Peter Lanik continuing to lead. About a half lap down. They should do just about 12 laps in this race. 20 minutes to make it happen. And single file right now amongst the whole field, but there is a move potentially back there. 77 of Brian Kennedy. Looked like he was going to maybe make a move. Ended up not doing so. Darren Treacle in front of him. Remember, he qualified second fastest by just half a tenth off of Steve Ficacci, who finds himself about 3 seconds further back and with damage. Brian Kennedy going a little wide there through the final corner. He's going to open up the door, and there goes Dean Tooling, going to take 9th position away. Lap 1 in the books. Peter Lanik, your leader, down into turn 1 once again. Colin Kortnick on his tail. Adam Pohl, Stefan Vapa 3rd and 4th. A nice run there for Pohl. We'll see what he's able to do. Right on the back bumper, the 32 of Colin Kortnick. And he is not going to be able to stick right to the tail. Just about a car length between those two as they work downhill. Kind of up, slight kink to the right, back to the left. High speed corner there. Clint Fletcher in the pink camo machine. Right on the back of Michael Pavlano. A couple drivers who definitely have a lot of speed here in this league. Darren Treacle is right there on the back bumper. Had to check up big time into the chicane. Looks like Steve Ficacci trying to make up some spots there. He gets around Scott Kim in the Red Bull Lamborghini. Nice looking race car. And this could be a battle here. Robert Benson, Jakub Bielik. Peter Lanik looking pretty good to start. He's pulled out about a second gap over Colin Kortnick, who's here behind him. It's a field flying past here. In turn number 1, still all single file, no moves being made there. Late braking from, that was Clint Fletcher. But pretty stable positions right now for this field. Just a couple laps down, working lap number 3. Peter Lanik continuing to put great laps down. He is actually, right now, the fastest car on the racetrack. This is a very aero-sensitive circuit. Ooh, this is getting tight back here. Nearly 3 wide for a moment. The 97 of Stefan Vapa going to make his way past Adam Pohl, who's actually going to lose 2 spots. Now battling a little contact right there into the chicane, and that is going to check everybody up behind Adam Pohl. The closer you are to the back bumper of the car in front of you, the worse your car is going to handle. So these guys, you can see they space out just a little bit through this kind of infield section, or the trickier turns there. Peter Lanek continuing to stretch out that gap now up to about 1.4 seconds. And a little wide off of that last corner. Darren Treacle still trying to find a way around Clint Fletcher. In front of him side by side, Adam Pohl. Pablano sends it in deep. And he is going to take the spot away. That moves Michael Pablano into 5th position, up 5 spots where he started. But Fletcher trying to take advantage as well. The Ferrari not hanging on very well for Adam Pohl, the number 12 car. Further up the road, it is Stefan Vapa, also in a Ferrari. Clint Fletcher attempting a move right there, late break and trying to get a nice exit. Just not close enough. Oh, and car sliding in front. Michael Pablano losing the back end of his race car. We can go back to a replay of that. He's going to fall all the way outside the top 10. Oh, just clipped the grass. And really a nice job to keep it off the wall, keep it off the racing surface. And he'll get it back rolling without much of an issue there, but will lose a lot of track position after just breaking into the top 5. Behind him, Scott Kim, solidly in 13th, right where he started. Peter Lanek's lead starting to evaporate. Down to 1.1 seconds. Colin Kortnick starting to chip away. Stefan Vapa also closing. He's been quicker the last couple of laps. Lanek leading the first 4. Trying to build on that. Adam Pohl, who started in 3rd, has lost positions and was in danger of losing a couple more. Clint Fletcher's been really good in a car around Colin Kortnick from 2nd. He'll back it into the guardrail. Let's take a look at what happened here. I think a pretty serious hit. Oh, just got it on the curb, and yeah, huge hit to the front end. That BMW M4 GT3. And he'll roll it into the guardrail. Eventually, without much drama, he'll get it back rolling here. But back to 13th after running in 2nd. And that has given quite a cushion to Peter Lanek. About 3.5 seconds ahead of Chase Outcolt, who's up from 6th to 2nd. He's got a decent margin over Stefan Vapa. Starting to feel the pressure once again from Adam Pohl, who's picked up the pace. But Fletcher, Darren Treacle still doing battle for 5th. And here we go, Treacle gonna try and outbrake Clint Fletcher, just not able to do it in that BMW. The Lamborghini strong on the brakes. Some exciting racing to this point tonight from the Hungaroring, about halfway through race number 1 in our 2 sprint races. Looking for battles further back. Brian Kennedy is closed up to Jesse Brannon, and Brannon actually in the Porsche 911 GT3R. Did not expect to see any Porsches out here. We haven't seen any the last couple of races, but he is in a Porsche machine, and we'll see how he can do. Currently in the top 10, Steve Ficacci out in front as Michael Pavolano completely misses the chicane. I'll serve a short time penalty for that. Try and set his sights forward once again, but that is going to cost him some time. Everybody's still on the lead lap through the first 5 circuits. We've seen Justin Craig and Callan Crocker both come to pit lane. Brian Kennedy now takes a peek to driver's left of Jesse Brannon, not able to make the pass. And while they do this, Michael Pavolano sees an opportunity to close up. Now Brian Kennedy peeks out here, driver's right, hard on the brakes. And he is going to take that spot away. Jesse Brannon now falling to 10th, although he's got a nice run on the straightaway, still side by side. Now cleared for the position, and Brannon continuing to fade. Pavolano trying to go the long way around, can't do it that corner. Try and set him up here. Few more corners down the road. Chase Outcult in second, continuing to close on the leader, but still 3 seconds the difference. And this is exciting back here. 4th, 5th, and 6th positions. Pohl, Fletcher, Treacle. On the roof cam with Darren Treacle. 8 minutes left. Looking at the standings, Darren Treacle is about 7 points behind Steve Ficacci, and Ficacci's already out-qualified him. He's only running 1 position behind him. And these two always neck and neck. And Ficacci is closing in. He's been running some of the fastest laps. Actually, the fastest car on the racetrack is Steve Ficacci. Not a surprise. Sometimes it takes him a few laps to find his rhythm. He does have a little bit of damage on the front end of that race car. As Clint Fletcher again trying to force a mistake from Adam Pohl, who's just been rock solid other than a couple slight hiccups. Stefan Vappa is closing in on 2nd place in his Ferrari. Into the chicane. Ooh, did Clint Fletcher open the door? Nope, shuts it right in the face of Darren Treacle. And Steve Ficacci is flying right now. He's gaining so much time on those 3 cars. He's going to be there before the end of this lap. He's bringing Dean Tulien with him as well, actually. But really good stuff here in race number 1. They work under the Heineken banner there. Peter Lanek trying to continue to lead, and he stretched that gap out now in nearly 4 seconds. Ever since starting on the pole, he has led every single lap now, make it 8 laps that he has been out front. Chase Outcult Good run for him. Started in 6th up to 2nd. Stefan Vapa up from 5th to 3rd. Adam Pohl down 1 spot from 3rd to 4th. Clint Fletcher up a couple. Darren Treacle up about 5. Steve Ficacci also up 5. Dean Tulane, he's down about 4 spots. Brian Kennedy right where he started in 9th. Starting to close up on the rest of those guys. You see how far he's gotten out in front of Jesse Brannon, who rides in 10th after starting 15th. Good run for him. But he's got pressure here. Michael Pavolano trying to break back in the top 10. Remember, he was running up in 5th after the mistake, clipping the grass right around this part of the racetrack. Just looking for an opening there. Can't find it. Brandon with good defensive driving. Peter Lanik loving what he is seeing here. This gap not shrinking. Just as a fair warning to everyone out there tonight, we do have a snowstorm starting to hit us here in upstate New York. So if we lose power or lose internet, apologies in advance. Not a whole lot we can do to control that. But hope everyone is having a good winter and safe out there, as we've got the change for position potentially here inside the top 5. We do have Steve Ficacci's gotten past Darren Treacle, and he's not done yet. Trying to get by Clint Fletcher. Ficacci just on a mission here after getting turned around in the first corner. He's trying to get up on the podium potentially before the end of this one. I think he's got his work cut out for him to catch Stefan Vapa, but he's gotten into the top 5, putting pressure on Adam Pohl. Darren Treacle able to leapfrog Clint Fletcher through all of that. We've also had a change inside the top 10. Michael Pavolano has gotten past Jesse Brannon. Adam Pohl, he's got to be feeling that pressure. See just how well Steve Ficacci able to put down the power. He's already at the back bumper, forcing Adam Pohl wide, and he is going to try and capitalize. Pohl not backing down, really tight racing into the left-hander. What does Darren Treacle do behind all of this? Ficacci the advantage now, down into the final corner. Oh, and overstepping it right there. Darren Treacle keeps the car underneath him. Just 2 minutes left in this race. It'll be the white flag next time. Here goes Darren Treacle. Bold move down into turn 1. A little contact, door rubbing between the 70 and the 12. And Adam Pohl not giving any space. He wants to keep this spot. Dives off into the next corner. Maybe a little too far. Treacle tries to cross him over. Can't do it. Pohl hangs on. Here comes Clint Fletcher trying to squeeze back in. Wow, what a battle here it's been from about 4th to 7th. And Dean Tulane's in the picture. Brian Kennedy's in the picture. These guys could wind up with a top 5 if things fall their way. How about this guy, Peter Lanik? He has led every single lap. Absolutely dominating performance in race number 1. Nobody's been able to touch him. And he's been consistently top 2 fastest lap after lap. So it's not like he just happened upon the pole position. He is looking very good, trying to get a sprint race win. This is really where we want to keep our eyes, as Darren Treacle opens the outside lane. Clint Fletcher trying to get there, and he is just about there. Can't do it that time. And Brian Kennedy trying to complete a pass on Dean Tulane, has to back off. White flag in the air for Peter Lanik. Chase Outcolt gonna take the final lap in second, and he has got a Stefan Vapa machine closing in behind. It's just about a car length and a half now through turn number 1. This could be a battle for those positions. Steve Ficacci absolutely flying, second quickest car last time. He's gotten up to 4th after his rough start to this one. Adam Pohl trying to hang on to a top 5. But Darren Treacle, he is really pushing right now. Sees the championship leaders gone up and past him. He's already been out qualified by him. Wants to get as many points as he can in sprint race 1. That is how tight it is week after week between Darren Treacle and Steve Ficacci. Just a position or two between qualifying the races. If things just happen to fall, you know, one driver's way, that could be the difference in the championship. Wow, Peter Lanik. Nice Thursday night drive for him. It's been almost too easy. 6 seconds ahead. Chase Outcolt still hanging on about 0.8. But Peter Lanik working through the final corner. He is gonna win sprint race number 1 tonight. Peter Lanik, what a drive from him, dominating start to finish. And Chase Outcolt, he'll come across the stripe in second place. Great run from him. Stefan Vapa, Steve Ficacci, and the battle is on for 5th. It's going to be Adam Pohl hanging on. Darren Treacle 6th, Clint Fletcher 7th, Dean Tulane in 8th, Brian Kennedy 9th. Michael Pavolano able to get back into the top 10 as they all pile down in to turn number 1. Just a few more drivers finishing up here. Scott Kim crossing the line. Battle between teammates, 15th and 16th. Final points position to Justin Craig. Callan Crocker behind him. Robert Benson. And Carlos Bonds about 11 seconds back from him. Should be coming through the final corner right now in the Ford GT machine. But we will pull up the race results for race number 1. Peter Lanik is your winner. Chase Outcolt in second. And that's going to take those results right away from us. So we will go right back to a practice session. Let's see if we can pull in Peter Lanik after a quick word from our sponsor tonight. SEO Mike helps businesses of all sizes achieve higher search engine rankings to drive more traffic and increase sales. Contact SEO Mike today for a free website evaluation and quote. Mention this ad for 15% off your initial setup. SEO Mike, marketing websites on the internet since 1997. Visit SEOMike.com. And a nice quick commercial break. We'll be pulling in our race 1 winner. See if we can get him in here. Peter Lanik, this is Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
Yes, I do. Hello.
Hey, well, what a dominating performance in sprint race number 1. Gonna have to start a little bit farther back in this one, but you had great speed. How are you feeling about the car, and how do you feel about that race?
Obviously feel great about the race. Just got lucky enough that I didn't get into any traffic early on and had my teammate Colin right behind me. Fortunately, he ended up spinning out, so I look forward to catching him again in this race. Yeah, starting in the 12th position now. So.
Yeah, well, great performance by you, dominating flag-to-flag finish, and we will see how you do here, but good luck.
Sounds good. Thanks.
Thank you. That's Peter Lanik, race winner in sprint race number 1. And I believe it's an invert of the top 12 is what they're doing now with this this field. So Colin Kortnick gonna roll off from the front position. Jesse Brandon second, Michael Pavolano third, Brian Kennedy fourth, Dean Tulane fifth, Clint Fletcher sixth, Darren Treacle seventh, Adam Pohl eighth, ninth is Steve Ficacci, and Stefan Vapa gonna round out the top 10. Chase Outcolt and Peter Lanik the top 12. Then Yakov Bielik, Scott Kim, Justin Craig, Callan Crocker, Robert Benson, Carlos Bonds, and Matthew Gazinda. We'll see how things go here, but that is going to be our new... We're going to try and do a new interview format from here on out with this series. We're going to try and interview both race winners as well as drivers of each drivers of the day for each race, which we didn't have enough time in this one to get. I was going to pull in Steve Ficacci. We'll see if he gets up to take the win. As green flag is out here for sprint race number 2. The field flashes on past Colin Kortnick, Jesse Brandon out in front. We're about 3 or 4 wide. Hard on the brakes goes Michael Pavolano. And I think everybody survived this time. Yeah, everybody did. Great job by the drivers to hang on and not make contact during this start. And it's been clean here. This is a great sign for some of these drivers. How about Jesse Brandon, the Porsche, out in front? Nice start for him. Gotta keep an eye on Darren Treacle running in 4th. He climbed through the field, and he's already trying to take another position here. Colin Kortnick in that 3rd spot, trying to hold him off, but Treacle continuing to put pressure on Brian Kennedy, trying to pack the back bumper full of the number 70, and Clint Fletcher right here in the mix. Steve Ficacci already up 2 positions, and around goes Clint Fletcher in the middle of the field. Contact! And we got another car around. Adam Pohl and Peter Lanik. Oh no. Not the commentator's curse. Let's see, we're gonna start with Clint Fletcher. See what happened to him here. I think just overstepped it. Around he goes. A little hit from Pohl, and then as Dean Tulane. And then we got to look at Adam Pohl. What happened to him? Oh, getting back on track. Clipped Peter Lanik. A little bit of a dangerous rejoin. Another view of that. Oh, man. That is a tough scene as Lanik goes sliding all the way towards the barrier. They all continue on. Callan Crocker brought it down pit lane, but he is back on the racetrack. During all of that melee, Michael Pavolano's taking the top position. He already has a sprint race win. Hard battle. I think Colin Kortnick went around. He went really wide. And he's going to rejoin right in front of Justin Craig. Let's take a look. He was battling with Darren Treacle. I'm not sure if they made contact. Kind of a, tough spot. Oh, off the barrier. The front end of that car caved in. But able to continue on for the moment. We'll see how much it affects the handling. Wow, an exciting lap number 1 and now lap number 2. And again, in all that action, Steve Ficacci, he's already up onto the podium trying to clear Brian Kennedy. And they're both going to try and clear Jesse Brandon. That is not going to work out for Brian Kennedy. It's actually going to cost him. Here goes Darren Treacle through the final corner. And in theory, Brian Kennedy should have a little draft, should have the momentum. And that is the case. He's going to nose back ahead. But we know Darren Treacle not afraid to go a little deep on the brakes here, and he does just that. Back end kicks out just a tiny bit. Still battling. Brian Kennedy charging back in. He's going to do exactly what Treacle just did to him. And how about Chase Outcolt, runner-up from race number 1? He's hoping that these two make a mistake and he slips on past unharmed. And there's contact! Huge hit! And the track sort of blocked for a moment there as Chase Outcolt and Brian Kennedy get together. Man, that was a big hit for both drivers. You saw Outcolt was doing exactly what I said. He was looking for an opportunity to get past, but just did not do it safely. Overran the corner just a little bit. Trying to go back and see it from the inside here. Oh man, I think he thought the window was going to be open a little bit longer. Ultimately, just a dangerous attempt to pass, and it's going to cost him and Brian Kennedy any shot at the win, and he's gone to pit lane. Brian Kennedy also in his pit box. Going to use their fast repairs up. Michael Pavolano out in front, extending the lead. Steve Ficacci's moved to second place. He's probably going to be driver of the day. If he doesn't get a win in this race, he will be driver of the day. Darren Treacle, been very strong tonight as well, trying to limit the damage in the championship. Jesse Brannon, solid run after starting second and leading early in this race. Oh my goodness, what a wild start to this one. Just on lap number 4, and we have seen so much action. And it's not done yet. I mean, look at this group of race cars, about 6 cars. Led by Stefan Vampa, who's had a strong night as well. Can never count out Stefan Vampa. He is a very quick, consistent driver. Constantly finding himself in the top 5 and podium positions in this league. And I think from what I've seen this season, he's actually been trying out different race cars. So he's in the Ferrari tonight. I think he's been in, I think he was maybe in an Aston Martin or a different kind of car entirely the last couple of races. And look at this action too, side by side back here. Ian Toolene trying to recover after an early incident. He's racing with Carlos Bonds, who's now going to get passed up by Clint Fletcher trying to recover after his spin. Carlos Bonds trying to charge back into turn 1. You see Clint kind of goes to avoid him. Just saw him in the mirror, the Valentine's Day machine. Got Robert Benson in the final points paying position. Adam Pohl behind him with quite a bit of damage on the left front. Michael Pavolano still putting down great laps. The top 3 all within 0.2 of a second per lap. And there's nobody else in the same zip code really in terms of lap time. Those guys are in the mid 144s. The next closest is a 145.5 by Stefan Vappa in 5th position. About 0.8 slower than Michael Pavolano. Steve Ficacci just a little quicker the previous lap. Let's see this time. Pablano ran his best lap. Ficacci a 100th slower. Darren Treacle actually quicker than both, but just half a tenth. Jesse Brannon has picked it up. Stefan Vappa was the quickest. No, Colin Kortnick, fastest car last lap. Oh, I'm sorry. They're actually a second off. I was looking at the wrong column there in the timing sheet. Jakub Bielik, Peter Lanik side by side. Peter Lanik, winner of race number 1, trying to recover after getting turned around early in this one. Doing a solid job inside the top 10. Yeah, he's going to try and make the pass on the 141 of Jakub Bielik, and I think he's clear. He'll move up to the 8th spot after starting in 12th, so overall it's been a net positive race, even though he went all the way to the back. Scott Kim in the top 10, started 14th. Nice clean run for him. But Fletcher, Dean Tulane. But again, we do want to thank you for joining us. If you are enjoying the content, make sure to like and subscribe right here on YouTube. We're also live on Facebook. You can check us out over there and our other social media, Twitter, where we post updates before we go live each and every race. And that's how you can keep up with us. Also hit the bell icon right here on YouTube to get notified when we go live. And we do want to thank you for tuning in, and do hope you're enjoying the event tonight. It's been very exciting from the Hungaroring. Both races have put on a show for us. Michael Pablano, he is pulling away right now. He's actually been quicker than anybody else on the racetrack that's not named Darren Treacle. Treacle has been the quickest the last 2 laps, but he is 5.5 seconds back. Although I think Steve Ficacci maybe just gained a small chunk of time. Just have to keep an eye on the lap times across the line this next time. So 6 laps down, about to complete 7. Got Kim, Jakub Bielik 9th and 10th. Nice battle here. Right on the back bumper, nearly making contact. Wide arc on entry, cuts it down, trying to get a good run off. A little bit too much of the curb there, I think, to really get a nice run, but I'm going to stick right with him and maybe have a shot at a little draft down this straightaway. No other battles inside the top 10. Everybody's spaced out pretty well at the moment. Adam Pohl closing in on Matthew Gazenda. And Gazenda going to go really wide on turn entry. And that is going to let Adam Pohl right on through to 13th, even in a damaged race car. He's been putting down some pretty nice laps. And 17 of the 19 starters in this race are still on the lead lap. Everybody is still out there on the racetrack. Keeping an eye on any battles that could pop up. Got Kim and Jakub Bielik again, the closest battle in the top 10. That is 9th and 10th. Dean Tulin is closing in on them at a pretty rapid pace. He was a second quicker last time around. Clint Fletcher as well. This could be 4 cars under a blanket here pretty soon. All challenging for top 10 positions. See if we can take a lap on board here with Mr. Steve Ficacci running in second. Beautiful day here at the Hungaroring. Incredible weather, like we said, 66 air temp, 75 track temp. And these guys really just doing a fantastic job. Seen quite a bit of action. And now another battle starting to develop. Justin Craig closing in on Colin Kortnick for 6th. And he is bringing Peter Lanik with him. Peter, very good races tonight in that number 11 car. He is trying to get up there and get close to a top 5. Maybe with a little bit of luck if Stefan Vapa and Jesse Brandon get together, and they are really close. So we've seen a couple battles now develop inside the top 10. So that is nice to see here as we've got just 4 minutes left. And Michael Pavolano crossing the line there. It'll be 3 laps to go. 3 laps to go in this one. About 3 seconds the difference between himself and Steve Ficacci. On board with Stefan Vapa as he looks forward to Jesse Brannon. Gonna peek drivers right, try and force a mistake. And that Porsche has a short wheelbase, so they can really get through the corners. I think it's a little bit low on power compared to some of these other cars. Colin Kortnick hoping those two get to racing so he can close up and maybe challenge for a top 5. But Peter Lanik is there. He has gotten behind Justin Craig. It's about 2 or 3 car lengths. Oh, and around goes Stefan Vapa. Oh man, big hit for the Vapa vintage Ferrari. Let's see what happened to him. Behind Jesse Brandon, I think maybe just pushing a little too hard. We've seen drivers on the curb right there. Yeah, just lose it. Big hit off the wall. And nice job locking it down and get it rolling in the right direction. He will only fall back to 8th. That has thrown the battle for a top 5 wide open. Colin Kortnick, Justin Craig, Peter Lanik, all going to be fighting for that. We are coming back to 2 to go. It is Michael Pavolano leading by 3 seconds. Steve Ficacci in second. Darren Treacle another 2 seconds back in third, who has been consistently the fastest car this race. Just doesn't have enough time to get up there. You probably need about 15 more laps. And that is not the case here tonight. It's a 20-minute race. Potentially a change for position. Peter Lanik goes drivers right on Justin Craig. They'll go wheel to wheel down through the left-hand corner. Nose to tail. But not able to complete the pass. Nice defense by Justin Craig. I'll tell you what, Darren Treacle is closing up on Steve Ficacci. That gap is just about 1.1 seconds. We could have a battle for that second spot. But the battle is on for fourth position, as well as sixth. And also 9th and 10th still being contested. And then 11th and 12th. And we've got a lot of battles coming back to the white flag in the air. It is Michael Pavolano out in front, 3.5 seconds. He's been dominant in this race. And if he leads this one, he will have led, not from the very start, but he'll have led every single lap. Now this is the battle I want to see here for 4th and 5th. Kortnick, what's he going to do in turn 1? Deep on the brakes. The door's open. Jesse Brandon left it open for him. But he gets a better run off the corner still, side by side. Gonna try and cross him over just on the back bumper. Not able to. Things are spaced out behind. Jesse Brandon has done an excellent job in a car that you would consider to be at a slight deficit to these other guys. Colin Kortnick had to check up right there for a moment. He's closed right back up again. We're going to see a battle probably coming right back to the line between those two. And the battle is on for seconds. Darren Treacle, I don't know what he found, but he is flying right now. He is caught right up to Steve Ficacci to try and battle for second. We're coming back to the final corner, though. And Michael Pavolano, what a race from him. He's going to lead all the way from start to finish and take a victory here at the Hungaroring. Steve Ficacci second. And we've got a change for a moment there. Colin Kortnick charged in. He's going to try and send it in deep on the brakes again. One more corner. You can see he is wheeling it. Tries to cut it over the curbing. Not going to help him out at all. If anything, it hurt him. Here comes Justin Craig. It's going to be Jesse Brandon coming home in 4th. Nice run from him. Further back, Scott Kim able to pull off a top 10 behind Jakub Bielik. Dean Tulin, Clint Fletcher, 11th and 12th. What a race here tonight at the Hungaroring. As they all pile in to turn number 1. Let's take a look at our quick results for the night. No lead changes in either race. It was Michael Pavolano leading flag to flag. Steve Ficacci finishes in the second spot. Darren Treacle, he's going to finish in 3rd here tonight. We'll interview Michael Pavolano and Steve Ficacci in a moment. Jesse Brandon 4th, Colin Kortnick 5th, Justin Craig 6th, 7th was Peter Lanik, 8th Stefan Vapa, 9th Jakub Bielik. Rounding out the top 10 tonight in the second race, Scott Kim. 11th was Dean Tulin, 12th Clint Fletcher, 13th Adam Pohl, 14th Matthew Gazendas, 15th Carlos Bond, 16th Robert Benson, 17th Callan Crocker, 18th Brian Kennedy, and rounding out the field was Chase Outcult, who finished second in the first race. So unfortunate second race for him. Let's go now to our race winner. See if we can get him into the booth. All right, let's see if we can get Michael Pavolano in here to pull him in. Mike Pavolano, this is Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
Copy, Adam. Can you hear me?
Yes, I got you. Well, you roll off 3rd in this one and end up taking the lead there, leading every single lap. Just dominating performance. You had the speed and able to drive away from Steve Ficacci, Darren Treacle there in the end. It seemed like an easy race. Did it feel easy from your perspective?
Well, the first heat wasn't easy because, you know, there's a lot of drivers that have good defense. So you gotta place the car right. But yeah, on the feature heat, I like this track. I know I have good pace, and my goal was just to get clean air and just try and get away as fast as I can, because I know that when Steve and Darren are behind me, and Brian and Adam, they can catch up easily. But yeah, I would say it's one of the more comfortable wins that I've had, and I was happy with the pace.
Yeah, definitely really strong. You were putting down the fastest laps or top 2 or 3 fastest lap every single time. Definitely a very, very strong night for you here. Just taking a look at the schedule to see where you guys are going next week, and it looks like it's going to be Las Vegas is what I'm seeing on the schedule here. How do you feel about going out there?
I actually haven't driven that track, so I'll and I don't know if it's a free track or we have to buy it, but I haven't been on it, so if it's not a free track, I haven't bought it yet. So I'll buy it this week if it's the case, and I'll give it a try. But yeah, I don't know. I haven't driven the track.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's the Las Vegas F1 track or if it's like at the Las Vegas Oval in an infield kind of course thing. But either way, it should be entertaining, and wish you good luck out there in that one. But anybody you want to give a shout out to for the victory tonight?
Thanks. Yeah, you, Adam, for a great broadcast. Always love watching the replays after. Scott, Brian, and Dean for putting up this great league, and I know there's a lot of work that they put in there. My wife and kids, and just everybody here that comes out every week. Like this is a great bunch of guys, and even though it's very competitive, it's a lot of fun. So thanks to those guys.
Yeah, definitely an entertaining set of races tonight. I'm sure there's probably a lot of action you missed out on by being out in front, and you're probably happy about that. But definitely gonna be a fun one to go watch. And we won't be broadcasting for a few weeks, so good luck in the next few races, and we will catch you. We'll be with you guys at the Red Bull Ring next, so we'll catch you then.
Awesome. Thanks, Adam.
Thank you. As Michael Pavolano, race winner here in the feature race number 2. And now we are going to go to Steve Ficacci, who we are going to call driver of the day. Came home second in this race. Well, let's pull him into the booth. Steve Ficacci, Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
I do. How are you?
Hey, not too bad, man. Incredible night from you. It didn't start out so hot, getting turned around in turn 1. But, man, you charged all the way up to 4th in the first race and then runner-up here in the second one. Just describe, the night from your perspective and how you feel you did.
So I wasn't expecting all that much. As the past races have gone, I don't qualify very well, which generally means I don't have the 1-lap pace. So I just kind of hope to get through the field with racecraft and, just push the whole time and be consistent. Where this track, it just felt like guys were not quite on the pace. I really thought, it being a new track, we'd all be kind of at 0 and it would be more competitive, but it seemed like kind of went the other way. There were some guys who were really struggling with the layout, and I don't know if I'd say the layout was tough, but there's definitely a lot of off tracks you had to be mindful of. But it was an interesting race. Starting in the back, it's those, when you start 12th, it's hard to win the races, so I kind of reset my mind and said, I just want to get third. I want to qualify third. I want to finish third. I mean, I want to win, but you know what I mean? That's kind of my goal. I'm happy if I get there. And this track just doesn't have a lot of room to pass. So I was like, if I could get the third, it'd be okay. And, we got close on the first one despite the issues. And, we got that in the second one. So I'm really, really can't complain.
Yeah, definitely a lot of fun watching you make moves and climb through the field in both races tonight. We go to Las Vegas Southwest. Is the next one on the schedule. I'm not sure if that's the F1 track or if it's the oval track. I'm not sure if you have any insight on that, but how do you feel about going out?
Assuming it's the road course, but it could be fun to drive an oval. All these tracks are new for me. This one I've never driven before. Las Vegas I don't own. And then we got Fuji. I don't own that one either. And I think there was another one in there that I'm not familiar with, but we'll kind of figure them out as we go. And I don't love racing on the new track just because I don't have that level of comfort. I feel like from behind the wheel, I'm making a lot of mistakes, and they're all very small, but to me they add up for lap time. And I typically enjoy when I can, put together a good run, and if the win doesn't happen, I know I drove well. When we have a race like this, I leave kind of unsatisfied, just knowing that I left something on the table, and it's frustrating.
Yeah, definitely understand that, not getting the victory. You definitely put on a show for us, making a lot of great passes, and it seemed like you said, you kind of figured it out there at least halfway through that first race. You definitely picked up the pace, and then the second one, you were just on it from the get-go. But yeah, we won't.
In that first race, I was surprised. Damage. I felt like I hit a lot of stuff, and I thought some of those hits were pretty hard. Like I picked up a 4X from a car that spun, and I'm like, oh, the steering's straight. Like that's pretty incredible. And then the lap times were coming. I was like, wow, this car's pretty robust.
Yeah, the big BMW takes the hits pretty well, I guess. You got hit head on in that turn 1 incident.
Spin me around.
Yeah.
Yakov.
Yeah.
Thanks, Yakov.
Yeah. It's a couple of hits there, and ended up holding up for you though. Second place in the feature race and driver of the day. Anybody you want to give a shout out to?
I just thank my wife as usual. It's I have 3 kids, and my wife. They've all been home from work and school because they've been sick this week, and I've got a little bit of something, but the rest of them are puking, and I'm not yet. So I'm crossing my fingers and trying to go to bed early and not catch any of that. So like I said, thanks for them to being cooperative despite our family issues here.
Yeah, well, wish you well. Hope it doesn't get too bad, and hope everybody heals up quickly. But and you couldn't tell that you were sick out there at all. So definitely put on a great show, and good luck the next few races. We'll catch you at the Red Bull Ring when we're back in a few weeks.
Thank you very much. A good race is good medicine.
Yes, sir. Have a good night.
You too.
Steve Ficacci, driver of the day and championship leader, continuing to extend that points lead. What a set of races tonight from the Hungaroring. We do want to thank you again for joining us. We'll be back on Tuesday night with the Below the Double Yellow Racing League Racing Series from Homestead Miami Speedway. Don't want to miss that one. That'll be a great show. Incredible couple of races already this season in that league. And we will be back in a few weeks with this league. It'll be February 23rd at the Red Bull Ring is the next race we'll be broadcasting, so 3 weeks from today. So you won't hear anything from us. We'll try and post as much information as we can from the next couple of races. But until then, have a great night, have a great weekend, and we will see you all soon.